Hi everyone, today's demonstration I'm going to show you how to draw this cute, simple cartoon cat holding a fish inspired by my adorable kitty that left her toy fish. The goal of this tutorial is to break down this drawing into a highly doable, step-by-step process. We're going to tackle this in 4 main stages. First, laying down the basic shapes. Second, adding details. Third, adding color. And fourth, adding the final touches. Let's start with stage number 1, basic shapes. For this step, I highly recommend using a very light touch with your pencil, because if you press too hard now, you'll end up wrestling with your eraser later and leaving a permanent indent on your paper. First, we are going to sketch a wide, slightly squashed oval right near the top third of the paper. This is going to be our cat's head. Think of it less like a perfect rigid circle and more like a soft loaf of bread. Directly underneath that oval, we are going to loop out a slightly larger vertical bean shape for the body, then 2 triangles for the ears. This rough outline is crucial because it locks in our spacing and proportions before we commit to any hard lines. Now that our cat has a solid foundation, let's move on to stage 2, details. This is where the drawing actually gains a personality and stops looking like a pile of potatoes with 2 tortilla chips on top. We start with the face, which is the focal point of any cartoon. To get those big, expressive eyes, we're drawing 2 large circles right in the middle of the head to give them that glossy please feed me look. I'm shading them in dark, but leaving a couple tiny unshaded dots inside to act as light reflections. Right below the eyes, a tiny upside down triangle acts as the nose. From the bottom of that nose, we draw the toy fish. It's essentially just a long teardrop resting horizontally across the cat's mouth, finished with a little fan at the end. Now that the features are set, I can press harder with my pencil to firmly trace the final clean outline with textured fur. Which brings us to stage 3, adding color. For this, I chose to use basic colored pencils, which are quite easy to blend, especially with graphite pencil lines as the base drawing. First, I test colors to see which would go best together and give me and Kitty the look we are going for. Then when coloring, the trick is to lay down a very flat, light base color first. I'm filling in the face and the body with a soft brown and tan, but I'm intentionally leaving areas around the eyes, the diamond marking on the forehead, and the muzzle white to give the cat some nice contrast and be more accurate to my kitty. Fourth and finally, once that base coat is even, we can go back in and add some fun details, giving the finishing touches like those darker stripe marks along the cheeks and down the tail. Finally, I'm going to color the toy fish a bright, vibrant blue and the color red with the golden bell. Using contrasting colors for the toy and the collar immediately draws the audience's eyes right to the center of the piece. And just like that, following a simple 4-step sequence, starting with basic shapes, layering facial features, adding color, and finally adding finishing touches, we have a finished illustration. Anyone can do this if you just learn how to break objects down to the simplest shapes first. Hopefully this gives you a quick stress-free doodle to try out the next time you're bored. Thank you for watching. Bye.